気に変えてゆく天使の羽広げ舞い上がれ
Hello, guys and gals and whoever else is watching this. I'm Refle. You guys are watching Refle's anime reviews and discussions. And I don't know what I did last time because I'm just recording a bunch of these back to back to back. And I don't know when I'm going to upload each one. But it's probably... The previous one was probably like an action anime because I'm trying to do a string of action ones since I've done so many romantic comedies lately. I want to kind of man it up, even though I really like romantic comedy stuff. But anyways, this time I'm going to be talking about... Now, I don't actually know how to even say this. Like, I know how to say it, but I don't know what's the right way to say it. But Hunter x Hunter, or Hunter Cross Hunter, or Hunter x Hunter, whatever you call it. Let me know in the comments below how you say it, if you do know. But I'm gonna say Hunter Cross Hunter, because that makes sense to me. Hunter x Hunter doesn't make any sense to me. Hunter x Hunter, okay, I can see that it's anime. So, but Hunter Cross Hunter sounds cool to me. And this is only like the first 100 episodes of the new 2011, because I think that's the year this one came out, of the new 2011 Hunter Cross Hunter anime. Because there was a 1999 one that they produced, and this is the newer one from 2011. So I'm only talking about the first 100 episodes, and I think there's 150 total. So yeah, let's get down to it. Now I should also point out, I haven't watched any episodes of this since, I would say probably last January. Yeah, last January or February. So it's been about a year. And I'll let you know why I kind of quit watching later on. But Hunter Cross Hunter is basically follows a character named Gon Freaks, who is a kid. I think he's like 9 or 10 during this anime. But I should point out this is an action adventure type of show. It reminds me a lot of like something like Naruto, Dragon Ball Z. What else is there? Just like fun adventures with kind of a emphasis on like big fights with certain characters, and basically the main character is kind of getting stronger. But they kind of do a twist to that, which I'll mention later on. But Gon wants to become a hunter, which in this world there are people who are like specialized hunters who do a wide range of things, and they basically get a whole bunch of money for services. And there's a hunter organization, which does it even say? I don't know. There's a hunter organization that is in charge of all this. But Gon goes on a trip to become a hunter. In order to do that, you have to go take the hunter exams, which is kind of the main part of like the first probably like 30 episodes of this anime. I'm gonna check. I got all the episodes up right now. I can look at the previews. Wow, it's actually a lot quicker than I thought it was. It's probably like the first 23 or so episodes are the hunter exams. But But anyway, so he kind of meets up with other characters. There's Kurapika, who is like a blonde kid, and he has basically a vendetta against a certain organization known as Phantom Troop, who's just this group of bad guys, and they all have numbers on their back. And they run into Phantom Troop later on. Liario, who's like a physician, a doctor, and he's looking to just help out. I think his sister or something. So that's why he's kind of doing it. And he's kind of like the knucklehead of the group, sort of. Even though he's really smart. And then there's Killua, which I think that's how you say his name, who is part of a family of assassins who are known as the best assassins in the world. And they're really powerful, and they're really evil. Or not, I guess not really. They're kind of evil. They're all sort of evil. But Killua has some like issues which they touch on for a good part of like the first 50 or so episodes. It's pretty dark. But they go and take these exams, and a whole bunch of stuff happens. They run into a character named Hisoka, who is basically, he dresses up like a clown, or he looks like a clown basically, but he's a badass clown, and he's really weird. And I'm gonna put up an image if I could find it where he goes swing, and maybe the clip where he goes swing, because it's kind of funny and it's weird.
Oh, そんな目で見つめないでよ。興奮しちゃうじゃないか。
But yeah, he runs into Gon throughout these first 100 episodes, and they kind of have like a vendetta against each other. I've used vendetta twice in this episode, which I've never used it before in any of these episodes of my discussions and reviews. It's just kind of weird how random words are just pop into my vocabulary, just randomly. But he's not a good guy, this Hisoka. But yeah, they kind of get into a scuffle, you could say, multiple times. So yeah, they take this under exam, and there's always kind of like a hidden thing going on a lot of the time in this anime. And there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And yeah, so once they kind of get past the hunter exam stuff, they kind of deal with like Killua's situation, and that's like another 10, 15 episodes. And then they do some training for another 10 episodes or something. And there's, I'm trying to think what it is called. Nen. There's like something called Nen or Kai or whatever it's called. That's basically like, just imagine like chakra or what do they call it in like Dragon Ball Z. Like, it was just like Super Saiyan stuff. Kai, it's Kai, right? No, that's the name of. I think it's Kai, right? Because you got your Kai gauge, and it's like something like that. Like this anime really reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z, in a lot of ways. It's not to the level of like craziness as Dragon Ball Z, but it's got some pretty awesome fights in it.
あいつ
ウボウも本気だね。4
逃げられねえのはてめえだ。
And there's some awesome stuff going on. Especially once you kind of get past all the training stuff, and you kind of get to the section where they deal with Kurapika and his situation with the Phantom Troop, who are a bunch of bad guys. And in this section, they kind of mess up a city for the most part. But Kurapika, there's some pretty awesome stuff in this kind of section of the anime, this arc, and it has some pretty awesome fights to it, and some crazy stuff happens. Like, I really cannot like sum up well enough like what goes on in this anime. Like, there's a lot of stuff I'm just skipping right now, just because there's so much to talk about, and I'm trying not to spoil anything, but there's a lot. Like, I'm talking about 100 episodes, so I'm trying to just really be broad about it. Because if I get specific, then this would be like 40-minute long episode. And I don't want it to be that long. But some cool stuff happens there, because Kurapika is a bodyguard for some people. I should point out that they're all hunters now because they passed the exams. So yeah, but there's always somebody stronger in these shows. Then there's the Greed Island section, which it was okay. Like, I wasn't a big fan of it, but they basically go into this video game world, and they get stronger. And then the next arc is where things, like, this is where things just went the opposite way of what I thought this anime was. Like, basically up until I'm gonna say episode like 75, let's just say that. Up until episode 75, if I was discussing this show, I would say it is pretty, like, overall more lighthearted show than like a dark show at all. Like, there's some really dark moments that happen, like where people like just get killed. A lot of people, like, basically a whole town dies during the Kurapika arc thing, because there's just chaos. So a lot of people die and everything, but there's still just adventures that goes on. Like, it's pretty just lighthearted, and it's just them trying to get stronger and everything like that. And sure, we run into bad people, but usually they get their ass handed to them, and everything's fine. But after that, we head into this chimera ant or chimera insect arc, and it gets really dark. Like, I'm not joking. It's one of the darkest arcs I've ever seen in an anime, in my opinion. Like, maybe I was just in a very like dark mood when I was watching this anime. So when something gets when you're in a dark mood already or depressing mood or something, you see even more depressing stuff. It makes you even more depressed, and you think this stuff is really depressing. So maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but it is really, really dark. Like everybody dies. Like, I'm not joking you. Everybody starts to freaking die in this arc. And that's kind of where I stopped watching, because it just was so dark. Like, some interesting stuff was happening, but it was just so dark. I just couldn't handle it anymore. I needed like a break from it. So I only got like halfway through the arc there. Yeah, but it's dark. It's dark. I didn't even get it through halfway. I'm basically at the beginning of the arc, and just, man, it is dark. Yeah, that's all I can really say about that. But a few things this show does really well is it has some awesome fight scenes in it. Some of the best I've seen recently. It's weird because I would say Gon and Killua are kind of the main two characters, and for the most part, after the Kurapika, it's pretty much just focused on those two characters. I should point out that Gon is looking for his dad, who is a famous hunter, and he's just kind of following his trail. But I'm blanking. But the show, like, whenever it always like kind of like trips you up, because whenever you think that the main characters are gonna kind of step up and like move to the next level, they don't. Like, I'm like every single time like Gon or Killua or whoever is given a chance to kind of like take the next step and finally like be the best they can be or whatever, like they lose. Like, Gon and Killua lose a lot in this anime. Like, I think I honestly think they only win like a third of the time, and they lose never 2/3, but they always come back like after the third time and beat the person or whatever. But they lose a lot, and usually in these types of shows you don't see it, like your main character, might lose once in a while, but then they come back and they don't lose for like another like 15 episodes or whatever, or 15 bad guys or whatever. But this anime, they lose a lot, and I thought it was kind of interesting and just different and nice to see. But yeah, overall, it was really fun. Like, I really binge watched this show for a good while, for a good like 2 months or whatever. And it's the last kind of like really, really like long anime I invested a lot of time into, because nowadays I really only watch like the typical like 13 or 12 episode anime, and then I kind of move on, or occasionally I watch like the 20 plus episode anime, or I usually don't watch anything that's longer than like 30 episodes, because it's just a huge time investment, and yeah, it's just a huge time investment. But this was one of the kind of last ones that I actually got really into, and I watched a whole bunch of, and like I said, I didn't finish it because of how dark it got, but I guess I do eventually. I kind of want to finish it up, but I don't know, it's just so dark. Like, maybe I'm just overreacting, but I just think it's really dark and depressing, and I can only handle so much from an arc. But yeah, if I had to give it a rating I'm not gonna give it a rating or a score, because I haven't finished it. So, But it's a fun watch if you kind of like those action adventure kind of anime, like your Naruto's, Dragon Ball Z's. Feels like I'm missing just another major one, like Fairy Tail. I guess is kind of similar. Something like that. This is definitely down your alley, then. But like I said, it gets dark around like episode 85 or something. Actually, around like episode 75, it gets pretty dark. So, if you don't like that, then just stop right there. But yeah, it's a good show. I recommend it. But anyways, I've been Refle. I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time with whatever else I review.